So you're going to Jamaica. You're trying to figure out some things to do, and you are thinking you want to go to Doctor's Cave. Well, I went there, I took a day trip. We stayed at the Grande Montego Bay Resort, and we took a day trip to Doctor's Cave. And in this video, I'm going to tell you, is it worth it? Should you go? What's the kind of spend you're going to be looking at? And we'll get into all that right now. So originally, I never had any plans to leave the resort when we were going to Jamaica because I read online, little scary, shouldn't do it, watch out, blah, blah, blah. And that all got changed when I got to the airport. We got picked up by our driver. So we used I want to make sure I get this right, bestjamaicatravels.com for our transportation from the resort to the airport and the airport to the resort, and then also from the resort to Doctor's Cave and back. So I use them because one, you can do everything through email. They're very responsive. They're always on time, and they were very helpful. Don't go into places you shouldn't go. Don't disrespect people. And if you're going to areas you're not sure, just take your driver or take somebody who knows the area and you'll be fine. That's exactly the way it was. We had no issues. So I said, you know what? We're going on a day trip because our water at our resort wasn't great. It was full of seaweed. It was gross. I wanted to see blue water. I wanted to experience it and really go to somewhere beautiful. So we took a day trip to Doctor's Cave. I used the bestjamaicatravels.com to get there. I just tagged on to my email. I said, hey, what is it going to cost us to get the 14 of us, yes, 14 in a party from the Grande over to Doctor's Cave, which is about 20 minutes, and then pick us up and take us back. So the one thing about communication on Jamaica, everybody uses WhatsApp. So the reason I tell you that is make sure your cell phone service has internet, at least somebody in your party has internet. So even if you just have it for the week or however long you're staying, make sure one of you has internet because you're gonna need WhatsApp to communicate with the driver to say, hey, can you come pick me up now? Or you guys specify a time that you're gonna be ready to leave and they'll come pick you up. So it was about $100 each way, which is pretty much what it was for me to go to the airport and back. So $100 one way because there was 14 of us, not a big ordeal. They were right on time to pick us up and they were right on time to pick us back up leaving Doctor's Cave. So you're gonna have 200 bucks there. So when you get to Doctor's Cave, it's $7 per person. I think it was like maybe $5 for kids, I forget exactly, but it's $7 per person just to get in admission. And then it's $7 for a chair, $7 for a lounger chair, or $7 for an umbrella. So everything was $7. I'm pretty sure it was all $7, yeah. So seven, just remember you need $7 for everything. So you will have to rent chairs, you will have to rent umbrellas, it does get hot. They only had a certain amount of lounging chairs, which that turned into a bit of a fiasco. We got there, I believe around 10 a.m. The one thing you want to remember before you go to Doctor's Cave, tip, check out the port schedule. We got there on a day that a cruise had just pulled in. So there was a flood of people from southern United States. They actually took a port out of Louisiana because I was talking to some of them. So they were all there just for the day, and a lot of people go to Doctor's Cave because it's very popular, because it's beautiful. The water is beautiful. So it was packed. If you would go there on a day that doesn't have a port cruise line, you're probably gonna have way less people, you're gonna have a lot more chairs available, and you won't have as much you'll have probably front row, because there's a couple resorts right on Doctor's Cave that are right next to it. Other than that, you won't be fighting as many crowds. And it was pretty chaotic when we got there, which was a little bit frustrating, but once we settled down and settled, we were okay. So check the port schedule, make sure there's not a cruise coming in, and pick a day that there's not a cruise there, because you probably have a better experience. So once you get in, remember, $7, $7, $7, you kind of start racking it up, and then you figure out what chairs and umbrellas you want. Water's amazing, beautiful. Sand was beautiful. The water temperature was amazing. They had one of those trampolines there that the kids were all jumping off of. They have a pier you can walk out on, which I did. And what's really cool, if you go out there, it's really quite windy. It was windy on the day I was there, so you can really cool off out there if you don't want to get in the water. You can walk down along the beach up into really kind of where the one resort starts, because that becomes kind of not a private beach, but kind of a private beach where those people are staying. So I stayed out of that, but it was beautiful, blue water, unbelievably white sand, and it was gorgeous, fun, and nice. So I do appreciate that. A little bit pricey, $200 to get there round trip, and then $7 for however many people, chairs, umbrellas you have, and then also you're buying all the food and drinks and everything you need while you're staying there. The service is really cool at Doctor's Cave. So they give you a flag for your party, and you just stick the flag in the ground, and that's how the server knows that you won something. So they don't have to keep just rotating through people to find you or ask you. They'll only come to you when your flag's up, which means is when you actually won something. Pretty genius. I don't know why other places don't do this, because it's so simple and it's such an easy fix to not have them constantly rotating and bothering you. They don't bother you unless you want to be bothered. Pretty smart. Food prices are pricey. As you would expect, it is a touristy spot, so things are going to be overpriced. Drinks were also overpriced. I didn't get anything because we brought some waters with us, so I was just drinking. We were only there for probably a couple, I don't know, 3-4 hours. Some of our party left the beach and went shopping because the hip strip is right outside of Doctor's Cave, so you can get lots of shopping done, and then you can come back in as well and get your stuff. So overall, it was a crowded beach day at Doctor's Cave because of the cruise line, but it was a really good experience. Being only 25 minutes away from our resort, kind of right in the heart of Montego. Right when we did get out of the bus and we were trying to get in line to get our admission into Doctor's Cave, we were offered weed, I was offered mushrooms. So there are people there that are, trying to sell you stuff, but it wasn't over aggressive. I just said, no, I'm not interested. And they said, okay. You said, are you interested in any marijuana? It is legal in Jamaica. They said, everybody's doing it on the beach, like total peer pressure thing. But once I said, no, I'm not interested, totally cool. So it wasn't, I never felt like I had to really push people away or be really kind of overly aggressive to get people to get the picture. It was a simple no, no thank you, not interested. They did ask everybody in our party, obviously except for the kids, and everybody just said the same thing, and we were good to go and we were through. A little chaotic getting in just because there was a lot of people, so which is why I'm saying if you go on a less crowded day, it will probably be a better experience. But overall, it was worth the trip. The beach was gorgeous. The water was beautiful. We just kind of hung out in there, and because our resort was so flooded with seaweed and I could enjoy the ocean, I actually very much appreciated Doctor's Cave because there was no seaweed. So if you're worried about a seaweed issue, Doctor's Cave did not have the seaweed issue that I had at my resort at the Grande Montego Bay Resort. So it's just probably the placing of the islands. Another really cool thing about Doctor's Cave is the airport's really close and the airplanes fly not too far away onto the runway. So you'll get some really cool shots. I don't even know, I should have gotten cool shots. I don't think I did, but the airplanes are close enough that you could get some cool shots of the airplanes coming in. It's not as cool as I think it's St. Martin or St. Thomas, where they literally come right over the beach and everybody's like standing underneath the jet, which is crazy to me. It's not that, but there is a beach on the corner that's right down the street from Doctor's Cave that you can go, that you can get that experience. Our driver to Doctor's Cave told us about that as well. So I'm sure that's a pretty hot spot to get some cool video. So that's also in the area as well. But overall, I would recommend Doctor's Cave. It was enjoyable. The beach was beautiful. It's a bit pricey if you're going to spend the day there with lots of people. Can be a bit crowded with the cruise line, but to me, it was worth the money. We got a gorgeous day at a gorgeous beach. It was the third most beautiful beach I think I've ever been to. Number 1 being Isla Mujeres in Mexico. Number 2 being the Bahamas at Baja Mar. That beach was incredible. And then this being number 3, being Doctor's Cave in Jamaica. If you have any questions about a trip to Doctor's Cave or anything I didn't cover that you may want to know about Doctor's Cave, let me know in the comments down below. I have 4 other videos about the Grande Montego Bay if you are interested. 1 covers the resort and room, 2 covers everything about the all-inclusive drinks and all the food, 3 covers all the activities at the resort, and 4 is a 4K walking tour of the Grande Montego Bay if you plan on staying there. Check that out before you go. And that's everything. I'll catch you on the next one.